It was only 5 years ago that Revel Bikes launched and came out with the Rascal, a 130mm travel, 29-inch wheeled, one quiver, do-it-all mountain bike. The bike put them on the map in a very big way in the bike industry. And now, 5 years later, we have the version 2. In this video, we're going to talk about all of the differences between V1 and V2, what stayed the same between the two of them, and how it actually rides on the trail, and what I noticed was the most noticeable and meaningful change for the version 2. Let's go. The version 1 of the Rascal was one of my absolute favorite mountain bikes, and that's because when you take that travel and that wheel size and good geometry and a really good suspension platform, kind of makes a mountain bike that you just have confidence can do everything you kind of want it to do. You can take it for a big cross-country ride, you can take it and do some enduro stuff, you could mix it up in the bike park if you needed to, and it just kind of does everything. So the Rascal was a bike I took with me to New Zealand, Colorado, Utah, and just countless other mountain bike trips because I had the confidence no matter what I was going to get into, the Rascal was going to be a good bike no matter how long or gnarly or grueling or short and fast and wild those rides might be. So I think when I was like, the V2, what are they gonna do? I had some ideas, but you know, Revel went to the table and this is what they did. Steeper, effective, and actual seat tube angle, which is an awesome change. There's also size-specific seat tube angles, meaning that the XL and the double XL gets an even steeper angle for those taller riders. Brilliant move right there. Head tube, half a degree slacker. Reach, 7mm longer across all sizes. UDH rear triangle, which is amazing. Universal derailleur hanger, meaning you can run SRAM transmission. Fully revised pivot hardware and bearing design, which makes it a lot easier to work on the bike, and just an all-around stiffer, simpler, cleaner design with the bearing layout. 150 grams lighter per frame, and they claim 20% more laterally stiff. 2,810 grams for the frame in a size medium with no shock, which is quite light and competitive when it comes to a strong lifetime warranty bike that's got this much travel. Carbon co-molded internal cable routing for easy maintenance and making it as quiet as it gets, very convenient. More tire clearance on the rear end so you can get up to a 2.6-inch rear tire and not have to worry about mud. And 2 new colors and new build kits with build specs, and also now offered in a double XL. So if you're a tall rider out there, you will be stoked to hear that. We actually just had Adam Miller, the founder of Revel Bikes, out here to be on the MTB podcast to talk all about this bike, the changes they made, the thoughtfulness behind every single change, and a lot of other topics. So link below in the video description if you want to listen to that podcast or watch it, as well as a link to our detailed article all about this new bike if you want to dig in deeper and look at some geo charts and build kit specs and all that sort of stuff. But when it comes to any new bike, especially a new bike when the past bike was really good, it's important to know what stayed the same, so let's go over that quickly. The same CBF suspension platform, Canfield balance formula, of which you should check out our video where we got to talk to the mad scientist himself, Chris Canfield, and went into super granular detail about its designs and its pros and cons and basically everything about how this platform works. This bike also has a lot of the same good small things like the 73mm threaded bottom bracket, the headset spec, the rear axle spec, and of course the same 29-inch wheels, 130mm of rear travel, and compatibility with 140mm or 150mm travel forks. I spent a lot of hours on the Rascal V1.
I like you a lot.
So I was really excited to ride the version 2, and most notably to me was the change that I really wanted to see the most, which was the seat tube angle. Making that thing a bit steeper just gives you more power on the climbs, puts you in a much better position body-wise while you're climbing, seated that is, and it's just it was a needed change, and it really made a huge difference on this bike. When you go to sit on the saddle's in the spot that feels natural, your position on the saddle while seated climbing feels right, and that was just a perfect change, so thank you, Revel. The other noticeable thing was the UDH, meaning this bike is now compatible with SRAM transmission, and it is so quiet, and I'd never ridden a Rascal with a transmission, so it was extra quiet. I think part of that might have come also from the new pivot hardware and bearing design, as well as the co-molded carbon internal cable routing, but the bike just felt solid, planted, and quiet, and yeah, really nice. So subtle changes, but those were the two most noticeable things that I felt on this bike. Other than those, all around, it's still the great, amazing, super capable, sort of do everything trail bike that it always was. If you have any questions about this bike, feel free to reach out to us. We have them available for demo in all 3 of our stores. We ride them all the time. It's basically a staff and shop favorite, and one of the bikes that we really talk about a lot, because over the years we've seen a lot of people come, ride one of these, or ride the Rail 29 or the Ranger, and realize what CBF is all about, how good that suspension platform is, and how thoughtful Revel is with all the little details that they think about when they're building these bikes, and how you sit on them, how you ride them, how they perform, and how every little thing comes together to make a holistic mountain bike that works really, really well for its intended use. So that's it. That's all. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next one.